Hello and welcome back to another thrilling installment of the super heroic Niche Radio with your hosts Owen Duncan and
Cornell Taylor.
And here we are, and today, as always, we'll be talking about the newest merchandise, comics, graphic novels and manga to come out. We'll be talking about what if, all sorts of stuff, who win in a fight, and much, much, much more. So stay tuned. Hiya, how's everybody doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well.
I'm liking your t-shirt today.
Thank you. Could you explain to listeners how awesome it is?
It's a Buffy school football team t-shirt.
Yeah, Sunnydale High School.
Which is on fire. Probably because of a big snake. How about that big snake, eh?
Oh, big snakes. They're often setting things on fire. Or being set on fire, and therefore setting a school on fire. Big snakes.
Big snakes. Talking about
big snakes.
Top Gear. Randomly.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Top Gear episode the other day, and there was I don't know nothing about cars, but there was a really computerized car. And Jeremy Clarkson, it was an old episode, obviously, said, this car is so nerdy, you might as well have Buffy speaking as the sat-nav. Yes!
That would be great. I would, especially with like unintelligible quips, because they'll be so 90s now, you wouldn't understand the jokes. Be like, oh, you've got more platforms than the Spice Girls. Who? Who is that?
Turn right. Not. Damn!
Do you like my stylish yet affordable tyres? Yeah, anyway, enough of that. Hi, we're Niche Nights and Niche Radio. Niche Radio! I'll try that again.
Niche Radio.
Hi, we're Owen and Connell from Niche Radio, here to give you all the spiciest tips about nerdy stuff and geeky things. And yeah, today we've got a fun-packed show. But first of all, we should probably find out all the new stuff that has been coming out in the geeky world.
What's new? What's new? What's new in Forbidden Planet?
So what is new in Forbidden Planet this week? Well, a hell of a lot. I'll tell you that for free. Ho ho ho. Although in more important news, I got some posts today, and it's a pack of kazoos. That was the first try of the first kazoo I put out of the packet. I hope you're all feeling as lucky as you are. So yeah, what is new in Forbidden Planet this week? Well, let me tell you. There's graphic novels, namely The Art of He-Man, which technically isn't a graphic novel. Well, I suppose it is. It's not a story. It's an art book, and it's very nice. Adventure Time, Volume 6, graphic novel. The Batman Mad Love Deluxe book, which is absolutely amazing because Mad Love was the kind of debut, or at least the most recognised, earliest version of Harley Quinn in the Batman comics, which was taken straight out of the Batman animated series in the 90s, which was by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. And it is very nice. It is a must-have for any Harley fan. Anyone who just getting into Harley now, then you need to get back into that, because that's the real stuff, yo. Also Buffy, I Wish, which is Volume 2 of Season 10. Season 10? Yeah, Season 10 of Buffy. And Deadpool Classics. In the comics, I'll rattle through these. Tons and tons of Convergence titles. That's DC's thing at the moment. So there's the main arc, Convergence Issue 2, out on shelves now. But there's also tie-ins with Superman, Man of Steel, Supergirl, Superboy, Catwoman, Suicide Squad, Green Lantern, Parallax, Green Arrow, and some more. There were lots. And those are all on sale now. Also, Image's Chrononauts issue 2. Also, the incredible Brubaker written Fade Out, the newest issue. Also, Loki, Agent of Asgard is on the shelves. Magneto, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, although its Fiendship is Magic. Clever play on words there, My Little Pony. Also, Thor, one of the new issues with Lady Thor. But we also get a bit of the original Thor turning up in it. Not quite a spoiler, but just a clue. And the last panel of it, if anybody gets to give the new Thor a read, the last panel is amazing. Girl power. It's all about Spice Girls today, isn't it? Did you do this? Yeah, it's all about really giving each other V symbols like the Spice Girls did. If you're watching on webcam, you get to enjoy that. So yeah, the Thor one is a very female-centric one, and it's good. We've also had Uncanny X-Men in stock, and Unity, and the brand new Wolverines. Who will become the next Wolverine? Do you care? Well, find out in store. Forbidden Planet Manchester on Oldham Street. Manchester. It's Mancunian. So, manga. So, if you want to read, but you're not wanting one of those Western reads, you're wanting something a little bit more Japanesey, well, let's have a look. We've had the brand new Attack on Titan Before the Fall, issue 4. We've had Fairy Tail Volume 47, Claymore Volume 26. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's either Ajin or Ajin. Ajin, just to avoid confusion. Demi-Human, number 4. Connell's got his top off. He's looking buff and studly. Those are very, very good biceps. Have you been home today, Connell?
I have, and I love you.
Did you notice that then?
Yep. Owen and I have just made a formal commitment to each other. I'm not sure if he even knows this yet, but obviously we both have penises. We can't have children. Neither do I want children.
Well, we could adopt them.
We already have a rabbit.
Oh, that counts though.
It's true, but we've made the ultimate connection where we have to live together until it dies, which is frankly never, because it's metal. Owen bought a pull-up bar.
Mm-hmm. It means it's solidified already. It's taken our relationship to the next level.
It has. Today I ate a roast dinner and did pull-ups all day.
Yeah, so we can
watch. What did I watch?
See, well, that's regardless, because when we're together at home, we can just watch each other doing pull-ups. Be great.
I watched Sliders all day, actually.
Oh, mint. So to round up the manga, also the last one on my list was Vagabond 12, which is the classic samurai-esque, awesome manga, actually. One of the few ones that I'm a massive fan of. Merch. There's been some merch. There's been an awesome Brienne of Tarth big old statue, which any fan of Game of Thrones would love, because it's incredible, and Brienne is absolutely badass. Even if you haven't been a bit of a cheeky git and watched the next 25 episodes that have been leaked online, because I would never do something like that at all. I would frown upon myself if I did. Stop pointing at me, Connell. Stop it. We've also had Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, Nendroid. Nenandroid? I think it's Nendroid. Anyway, they're awesome action figures. They're little kind of chibi ones, look cute as hell. You get those little accessories and stuff. We've also had the Flash TV series figures in, and also Buffy reaction figures. These are the old school looking figures with little cloth clothes and stuff from Buffy. So we've got all the supporting cast now, whereas before we only had Buffy and Spike. But that's all most people need. Yeah. Also, a big shout out to Tony Teflon, because today, and Big Dog as well, because today they helped me out massively with my manga order, which was gigantic. I'm pretty sure it's an accidental double order, so I can't fit on the shelves. So please, everybody come and buy the lovely manga which Tony and Big Dog booked on painstakingly.
I have a question about Forbidden Planet and working in Forbidden Planet.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind. I feel I should have prepared you for this. But
Okay,
where's the fun in that?
Go on.
So,
I'm game.
This perhaps isn't even that relevant to our listeners, because I'm guessing if they're listening, you're into sci-fi, but I'm very curious. I reckon a substantial percentage of people come in, maybe less than half, but say 30%, I'm going to guess, are people going, I know nothing about sci-fi or comics or any of this, but I want to buy a present for so-and-so. When they do that, what do you recommend? How do you get out of them what so-and-so might like?
Yeah, it can be painstaking sometimes. People come in and say, oh, I've got a mate who's a geek. What shall I get him? Well...
He's heard of Star Wars. I get the impression it's lots of that.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, then you got to be like, okay, so what sort of stuff? Is it like TV, films, computer games, manga? Just list things until eventually go, oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
In that case, because this is such a big question, if you could... Anyone in that context... Forget asking what they would like. If you could recommend them anything which is in store, not to show off because you like it, but to get someone into sci-fi or get someone into this world for the first time, what sort of things would you recommend?
That's ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous question, because I just would never do that. I wouldn't just be like, oh well, if you know nothing about it, then if you're trying to get into geek culture in general, I'd pick, because you can't just pick one thing. You'd have to have a jumping on point. You have to be like, have you ever heard of Superman, for example?
I'd say that. I'd say Superman or Batman, ones you'll have heard
of
at least.
But then if you're trying to get into geek stuff, though, you can't guarantee that they want to read Batman comics, or they want a Batman T-shirt, or they want a Batman £2,000 statue. It's just you just can't do it. I mean,
Fair play.
I think the only thing I'd suggest would be what you said against then, which is say something that I like, but like, oh well, Buffy's rad, read all Buffy. Or if people sometimes come in and say, I'm looking for a new graphic novel, which is pretty much as vague a question. But then I tend to go, well, do you like a bit of fantasy? No? Do you like a little bit of sci-fi? Do you like a little bit of, Civil War, but with a kind of heartfelt story? Then I point towards Saga, the image title every time. Saga is great, everyone. Saga is great. Buy it.
I'm very curious about Civil War at the moment.
Oh, yeah, well, that's coming out in film times pretty soon, isn't it?
This is mostly why I'm curious.
Well, not that soon. A couple of years. A few years.
It's in the post. That's my phrase of this month, it seems. It's in the post.
It's in the post. Yeah, Civil War is absolutely... It's a boss read. I would recommend it. It's well boss read. Yeah, let's toast a beer to that.
Do you think that's what they're going to do with... something like that would be awesome if they had make this new X-Men universe. Just them themselves. Just wars amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah,
well... They could do, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what the X-Men seems to do a lot of the time anyways. So I don't think I'm being that much of a change in the writing for them. But yeah, Civil War should be great. I'm really looking forward to that. But without further ado, here is a quick song to honour both Teflon and the Big Dog today. Teflon, you rule. Big Dog's pretty cool as well. Well, that's all. There we go. Thank you. That was much deserved. I mean, I've been bigging that song up all evening. So what's up next?
I think we should. We've got an event coming up soon.
Oh, we do. Let's tell you all about it right now.
3 legendary Nights of Niche bring to you events full of fun, gaming, and competitions at Niche Nights.
Hello, and this is the section of Niche Radio where we tell you about all of the cool events happening in Manchester soon for geeks, sci-fi lovers, comic fans, and everything else, cosplayers, you name it. And it's been some pretty cool ones. Those guys at Niche Nights have been putting on some nice ones, I hear.
I heard there was a really good one to do with Game of Thrones.
Oh, was there ever? Well, there was actually, yeah. I don't know why I said that. There definitely was.
Who came in? Who dropped by? I'm sure there was.
Oh, the chap. I don't know his name actually. The chap who did visual effects for the last episode of the last season came in, just because he happened to be meeting with a friend, and they had a chat while watching the episode that he'd done visual effects work on, because he hadn't actually watched it before. Interestingly.
Cool. That's really good. Our friend Carl does a show on.
Big up, Carl.
Him and Matt do a show on Mondays about films. So if you're into film, tune in on Mondays. It's everything a film mostly.
Everything film mostly. Excellent. Yeah, and it was a great night. We watched watched some Game of Thrones, and we played a Game of Thrones quiz. Gave out some prizes. Yaz Baraz on Facebook won the big grand prize for subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is a good idea, guys. Because that's why we dump all of these shows after we're finished with them, so you can listen back to them again and again and again.
I want to try and figure out a way of having a discussion for running throughout the week for next week's episode. Like, what do you want to hear about? Who do you think should win in a fight? And all this.
Yeah, that's it. And if anyone's got any thoughts on how we can improve the show, or if you just want to put in your penny, that's not how you say it, is it?
But if you want to give me a penny,
that'd be great. I'm a bit brassic at the moment, but yeah.
Brassic.
So Game of Thrones night was a great success, and loads of Game of Thrones prizes donated from Niche Nights and Forbidden Planet.
How was the
and
quiz?
Also from Starburst. The quiz went really well. A lot of the questions were pretty solid. And people seemed pleased, to be honest. Pleased that lots of those questions where you're like, oh, it's just like on my tongue. So that was good. And it did a heraldry round, which was pretty hardcore. So it was just all like the house symbols, and people had to guess what the house was. But then, for an extra point, get what their house words were.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, there we go. You'd have won it.
I've watched nearly a full season of Game of Thrones, which is why I wasn't there, because I'm 2 episodes shy of the first season.
and I'm a little bit more. I've watched a little bit too much of the season, probably more than I'm actually allowed to.
Due to crime.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Don't incriminate me on radio. But one thing I will say though, the new series so far of what I may or may not have watched has been absolutely fantastic. Absolutely not a drop in quality and riveting to the last. And we should have a big shout out to Ian McElhinney, who played Barristan the Bold, Barristan Selmy, Sir Barristan Selmy of the Kingsguard in Game of Thrones. Here he is, bigging us up because he's nice like that.
Hello, this is Ian McElhinney here, Barristan Selmy, The Game of Thrones. Tune into Niche Radio for everything sci-fi, comics, cult television, and gaming. Welcome to the Age of Rat.
So that was that was Ian McElhinney, or Sir Barristan the Bold, bigging us up, who is a legend, and he plays some pivotal parts in the new season. Let me tell you that. And also the first episode, for those that watched it, well, it was absolutely incredible, wasn't it? It's brilliant. Everything that I wanted from new Game of Thrones. I just want it to all be out now. I want them to do like a Daredevil Netflix thing and just release the whole series at once, so I can just binge watch it all. That's what I want. But yeah, talking of that's spoilers for spoiler alert though. Let's just save that up for now, and we'll do that a little bit later. How about a bit of a quiz? What do you reckon? Do you want to do a quiz?
Quiz sounds good to me.
All right, well, ladies and gents, if you're just tuning into Niche Radio, thank you very much for starters. Anyone who's a repeat listener, you are a legend with excellent taste. Thank you very much for putting up with our random wafflings about all sorts of cool stuff. But yeah, if you want more cool stuff, keep tuning in, because there'll be all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun. Oh, yeah, and also we should mention there's an upcoming event for Niche Nights. Drum roll, please.
Oh, wait, no. Can we change the drum roll to a kazoo rattle? May I?
Yeah, of course. In fact, we could dual kazoo this.
If only I could, what would you call it? The 3rd of May.
The 3rd of May.
The 3rd of May at Fab Cafe. It's the day before Star Wars Day.
Yeah. Well, that's a good rhyme.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The day before Star Wars Day, we're doing an event at Fab Cafe, and it's for people who like comics and Star Wars.
Yep.
So basically everyone who's cool ever. It opens at 4 p.m. Okay, what is it, £2 in, £3 in? It's cheap.
Check it out on the Facebook. Yeah, find Niche Nights on Facebook or at Niche Radio on Twitter.
So the first hour and a half, 2 hours, is going to be a comic swap. So there's no money involved. Bring down any comics you want, either rid of or you've got duplicates, whatever. Bring them down. There's no stalls. There's just find a seat and go through your comics with your mates. If you want to swap any, it's all trading. Do that. An hour and a half later, we're going to sit down and watch a Star Wars film decided by you.
Yep. The poll for that is on the event on Facebook, and and then hopefully, if we're still all partying on down past midnight, we can see in May the 4th be with you.
So far,
in style,
nobody has voted for any of the new ones, the first 3.
Yeah, any of the
prequels,
any of the rehashes, kind of the newer ones. The ones with Jar Jar Binks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had loads of votes, but none for those. So if you want those, get on. If you don't want those, get on and do it as well.
Yeah, because the choice is up to you. But anyway.
Quiz. Quiz.
Quiz.
Quiz.
Quiz.
Quiz. Quiz. Quiz. Quiz. Quiz. Quiz. Quiz.
Quiz.
This is the part of the show where we do a quiz.
Yes. So Connell will quiz me, and I will answer his quiz. The quiz answers. Although quiz. So what is the idea?
I've got 5 questions for you.
Hey.
So it's very simple. I'm gonna run through them. Basically, I'm going to quiz Owen because it's difficult in a studio. When you're in a pub, you can run a quiz and get a bit of feedback. It's difficult in a studio, so I'm going to ask Owen each question. He's going to respond, I think, via the medium of kazoo in today's episode. whether he knows the answer, thinks he knows the answer, or needs more time, or is stumped. And then we'll play the quiz again, the quiz theme. I'll run through them again and give you the answers. Well, I'll ask Owen if he knows them and then give you the answers. How does that sound to you, Owen? This is good to me too. Right. I wrote this quiz. I was a bit late today because I was too busy doing pull-ups and watching sliders and eating roast. It was a great day. So I wrote this on the tram. And I think it's a great quiz. I'm dead happy with it. Yeah. So, question 1. It's a Doctor Who question for you. Name the Doctor's daughter. Now, this is from the New School episodes because you never actually find out the name of his kids from Gallifrey. So name the Doctor's daughter. Okay? Question 2. Where did Dr. Sam Beckett never make it to? For those of you who are going to be listening to the rest of the show, might get a clue in our next intro to our next segment.
I just want to say, I'm playing Kazoo to answer these questions, not because I love playing Kazoo, but it's actually for you guys, because I don't want to, I'm going to get all these answers right. Of course I am. I'm absolutely great. So if I do it via Kazoo, then I answer the questions, and Con will understand, because we have a blood-packed bond that is unbreakable by anyone. But you guys, because you're all stupid, won't get it. So, sorry, carry on.
I think everyone's just turned off.
Oh,
we can swear now. By the way, if Owen gets this right, well, all of these right, it'll be the first time he ever gets to play the Final Fantasy theme tune. Well, not the theme, the
victory theme.
The victory theme, which he's yet to do. So, I wish you luck. Although I kind of don't, but I suppose I do. Question 3 is a bit of a mouthful, so bear with me. In Pokemon, Charmander evolves into Charmeleon at level 17. Who does he evolve into at level 37? His final evolution. I think you're right there. Question 4. I don't think you're going to get this, Owen, but I think you'll love the knowledge after. You'll like this, I think. In Tetris, what are the blocks called? Nothing to do with shape. All of the blocks have one title. Nothing to do with shape. What are the blocks in Tetris called? Do you not know it? We'll see. We'll give you a bit more time. And question 5, the final question. Who famously is a medical doctor? Who is famously a character in a series? I'll give you a clue. They might be bringing it back. He's famous for constantly saying, and in later series being made fun of for saying, I'm a medical doctor, a lot. Okay. Should we theme it?
Quiz. 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 Question 1.
Owen, I ask you now, in human voice, if you choose to. In Doctor Who, recent series, well, the New School episodes, if you will, name the Doctor's daughter.
Okay, I've got a backup answer for this.
Okay.
So my first choice is the Doctor's daughter. I think that she's never named, and she just called the Doctor's daughter and referred to the Doctor's daughter as is the title of the episode.
It is the title of the episode. If I could give you a point for that, I would, but I won't.
Okay, but if I was wrong, I did have a backup plan in case I was wrong. My backup plan is Julia.
No, but
June.
You could have been a lot further. Her name is Jenny.
Oh well, yeah, Jay.
It was a pun on being a generated anomaly after David Tennant refused to accept her as her daughter.
Huh? That's
generated anomaly. I like that. Let's call her Jenny. Jenny, that's a nice name. I'll have that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
She became Jenny.
Okay. What about question 2 then? I've already failed. I can't get my Final Fantasy VII victory theme, although I don't have the power of the buttons, so I could just put it on.
It's okay. I think you're going to get this one. And no, you can't do that because it will take away
Sacrilege.
from the.
And actually, we did have it the first time. The first time we had the victory theme with the quiz. I think it was I was asking you the questions, and you aced it, didn't you?
I did. I was excellent.
Yeah.
Question 2. Where did Dr. Sam Beckett never make it to?
He never made it home.
That's right.
Although, to be fair, that's a pretty open question. I mean, after watching all the series, I know he never made it to a small shrub in Switzerland that was named Jeffrey underneath a large pink umbrella.
That's true also.
Yeah. So I actually got all the answers right, really, haven't I?
Nearly.
Okay, what about 3?
Firstly, big up Big Dog.
Wait, big dog.
Question 3.
Is he even listening?
He's just text me. I've not read it because that would be rude.
Oh, yeah,
We're
we're
in the middle of
talking
the
to all
quiz.
these nice people, like Teflon.
But whatever he said, I'm sure it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Hi, Big Dog.
Hi, big dog.
Question 3. In Pokemon, Charmander evolves into
Charizard. That was just
You know
in
it.
the bag. Yeah.
Nice.
Charizard into Charmeleon into the other one.
Charizard.
Yeah. What was the first one? Charmander. That's the
Charmander into Charmeleon
yeah,
into Charizard.
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 Yeah, no, I knew that one like the back of my hand for no reason really. I'm not really that into Pokemon, but I did watch a lot of it as a youngster coming home from school and sitting down and be like, oh, school is so hard. I just want to put on the telly and relax. Oh, Pokemon. Oh, I guess I'll have to watch that. Gee.
I was kind of the same. I don't know that much about Pokemon, so I was flicking through the evolution on the internet, thinking, "Oh, I know that one," but no, evolve. Oh, what? And then as soon as I saw him, of course, I know that. Charizard. Question 4. So far, you got 2 out of 3. I'm curious to know if you get this right.
Ooh.
In Tetris, what are the blocks called?
Um,
I'm going to give you 3 guesses,
really?
and I'll give you a clue. You can have 3 logical guesses, like
Okay.
what logically might they be called?
Okay, blocks.
No,
Blocks in Russian.
you'd have to tell me the word.
I don't know Russian. Bluk.
Well, no.
Ah.
Think of the name of the game.
Okay. Tets
No,
or Risses.
they are
Tetrai.
close.
Tetrons.
Tetriminos,
Tetriminos.
like dominoes. Tetriminos.
That's yeah.
They're called tetriminos.
That's cool.
I only found that out today. I thought it was a great
Yeah,
bit of knowledge. I like
Tetriminos.
having that in my head.
I've said this a million times before. This is my only bit of Tetris knowledge, but I enjoy it. But you know when you build up all your Tetris things, so then eventually you can get one of those big long thin ones, put it down, and then you eliminate 4 rows at one time. That's got a name. That is in fact called a Tetris. So when you eliminate 4 rows at once, it is a Tetris.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And question 5. In a series which is coming out, well, being brought back out very soon for a short few episodes, which character famously says far too often, and in later episodes gets mocked for saying, "I'm a medical doctor"? Any excuse she gets.
Yeah.
There's a clue. She.
Hmm.
Coming out. I'm obsessed with it. You'll have heard the theme from my room on many an evening.
Huh?
Not that weird shaking noise.
I thought I was testing out your earthquake powers. You know, I'm a bit stumped now. The clues you've given me have really confused me. So you often listen to the theme tune, and it's one of your favourites. Well, so it's Doctor Who. It's got to be right. Oh, X-Files. It's Dana Scully, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Dana
because
Scully is a medical doctor.
yeah, because she's not one of those PhD soft science ones, and that's why she always says it, because she's all like, I thought you were a doctor. I thought you understand these high concept things about aliens. And then she's like, no, I'm a medical doctor. I understand syringes.
So you got 2 out of 5, which I believe is your worst result ever in the Niche Nights, Niche Radio, Niche-tastic, Niche Quiz.
Yeah, I think it probably is, actually. Well, one thing for it. No Final Fantasy VII theme, just a big old...
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! In Quantum Leap, Sam Beckett never actually makes it home.
Shut up!
And that was the answer to question 2, right there.
Yep, there we go. So, who wants to get everything spoiled for them? Well, tough, because here it comes. So I've been watching a bunch of stuff on the telly, and I've been reading a few comics. So I could spoil some stuff for you. I'll be quite mean. What I am going to do, I'll make you a promise right here, I am staying the frack away from Game of Thrones. Because if I was in your position and it got spoiled for me, just because you were listening to some stupid hippie chat on the radio for a bit to kill time, then I would be severely peeved. So I'm not going to spoil it for you, even though my knowledge of Game of Thrones knows no bounds. Have you read the graphic novels? No, I have. Played the games. Actually, I haven't played the newest game. I'm just bigging myself up too much, really. I've watched a bunch of the episodes, though. I want George R. R. Martin to finish off the books. So anyway, well, yeah, I'll spoil it a bit. Stuff happens in the new Game of Thrones.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, some of it's pretty brutal. Some of it isn't. A lot of it's kind of medium. There's talking. Many of them say words. Some of them also do actions along with the words. People may or may not die or get killed or kill. So that's your summary of Game of Thrones.
Will there be nudity, violence, and dragons?
Maybe. But I can't disclose anything more. That would be the biggest spoiler.
Considering where I'm at, Ned's still alive. I'm not sure I'm the best person to talk about Game of Thrones.
You know, I think you might be in for a couple of spoilers if we were to go into Game of Thrones. So we won't fluff it. What we will spoil though is Gotham. Isn't that good? I've been watching it with my eyeballs and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Yes, the big dog and I watched it last night, in fact, and it was a fantastic episode, including the evil Commissioner Loeb after all of Gotham GCPD's stuff. Basically, yeah, Commissioner Gordon, no, not Commissioner Gordon yet, but Jim Gordon is still trying to fight the corruption within Gotham and especially the police force, but he has a serial killer set on him by a crafty ruse. Who may or may not try to go after his loved ones. We'll have to find out next episode. Also, Fish Mooney, the one that everyone thought had disappeared forever. She is still kicking it large on a secluded island, and she has made a break for the outside world. Will she survive? Will she get out of there? And will Jim Gordon survive hunting down a notorious serial killer that has been covered up for decades? Well, I don't know. We'll have to watch the next one. It was awesome though. It was a really, really good one. It was less brutal than a lot of the previous ones. Although there was a seriously scary bit where you see the serial killer kind of baiting his prey, and it's the chap who was Peter Petrelli in Heroes, and he plays one hell of a suave and then very, very detached, sadistic, scary serial killer.
Gotham's getting more. It's always been dark and gloom and exactly how Gotham should be, but like seriously,
chill out, guys.
Yeah, I know. Like,
yeah,
the episode when Fish Mooney's taken upstairs and sees that guy's experiments.
Yeah, they reference that again. This one,
you need like that was some.
That's probably the
effed up ass.
Yeah, well, so some of the Gotham we've been watching has been some of the darkest TV I've watched.
Yeah.
Between eyeball scooping whilst alive and then stamping on, and lots of brutality, obviously. Yeah, weird guys getting sewn back together wrong. Anyone who watches the cartoon on Adult Swim, Metalocalypse, that's the title of one of their songs, Sewn Back Together Wrong.
Which coincidentally is not being taken on by Adult Swim for season 5.
Yeah, it isn't. Although
Why?
I imagine they will find a place for it. I don't know. Maybe
Someone
they dropped
will
in
take it on.
sales. I think there was a big beef. They did a I can't remember what it's called now, like a metal opera. So they did a whole like feature length episode that was
Really?
there was a musical the whole way through. Yeah,
Awesome.
and everything I've heard about it is negative.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds mega.
Yeah, it sounds like it should be the best thing ever. Metalocalypse, who already pretty much do rock operas within each little 10 or 20 minute episode, yeah, you'd think it would be amazing. And but I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. I'm trying to reserve judgment in case it is great, but yeah, a lot of people have said that it's not very good.
There are a few series like that, like Archer, which I don't think could be stretched into either of like almost a full length episode because they're only short, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm a little bit concerned about the Adventure Time film, which is being made. That's all like ticked off now.
Yeah, and the same thing with the Simpsons film when that came out. It was entertaining, definitely. It was for me. It was like, I don't know. For me, it felt like it was just 3 episodes stuck together.
It had Spider Pig, and that was funny for the first time I saw it, and that's the only funny thing in it, I thought.
I may have to rewatch it, but yeah, no, I thought it didn't deserve props as a film though. It deserved they did well to make me watch a triple length Simpsons episode.
The Simpsons have done phenomenally to be as funny as like continued humour for
so long, yeah.
About as long as we've been alive.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like how I don't know why put it into a film. You're really good at 25-minute things.
I suppose after that long
Leave it at
though, you'd think, oh yeah, let's test ourselves. We're invincible. We can do what we want. But then, I mean, there's South Park, the South Park film after what? Not very many seasons.
That kicked ass.
Yeah,
that was really
3 or
good.
4. That stood up as a film, didn't it?
Everything those two do, film-wise, is everything they do is great.
Cannibal the Musical has got to be my favourite. In fact, we need to watch that. Cannibal the Musical is amazing, just for the Spadoingle Day. The songs, mate.
When South Park first came out, I remember buying all the VHS box sets, and some of my favourite bits were the bits like the intro to all the episodes, where they would just randomly be by a fire stroking a dog, which would constantly change.
Yeah, that's the greatest.
Like cowboys, just anything really cliche American.
Howdy, South Parketeers. Brilliant. I love that every time the camera went back to them, the dog. Yeah, well, when the camera panned out, the dog was a different breed of dog. That's great.
Some of the few people who I admire, who I like, they say don't meet your heroes. Don't know if I'm going to go as far as say heroes, but I have a lot of respect for them. I think would just be sound guys if you met them.
Yeah.
Like I've seen interviews with them, they just seem completely normal.
Well, I kind of think they'd be dicks, but the kind of somebody once said to me recently, Owen, you're a dick, but a likable dick, which I thought was a great compliment, and that's how I imagine them to be, likable dicks.
I'll accept that.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon they give you a fair ribbing. They'd probably take the mick out of you a bit. They'd probably talk some random bullshit for a bit, but that's what we do.
Sound morals though, like allsp.com, just all free.
Yeah.
We've made enough money from it now. We're still going to make a bit of money on the side because you're still going to buy DVDs, aren't you? And we still get paid to put them on TV. But if you want them, just stream them.
Yeah,
but
here they are.
Awesome.
Well, that's it. It was one of the first big people to just embrace streaming culture, wasn't it? Because
it's happening, so deal with it somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounded like some sort of, I don't know, political advert. It's happening, so get involved. The Tories are coming back in again. Yeah. Next elections, the Tories are going to win whether you like it or not. So just get involved.
7th of May, people. Get ready. Oh, you've got like 4 days to register to vote. Let's randomly talk about politics.
Who are you telling me?
No, anyone listening.
I was going to say, I registered to vote long before you, sir.
This is true.
We had that conversation the other day. I was like, oh, what? And he's like, oh, yeah, man, I registered well late. And I was like, oh, idiot, bruv. It was good.
But yeah, what's next, eh?
Well, let's vote on something else. Let's vote on what's next. How about we chat? Well, in fact, I want to spoil some more things. I'm desperate to.
Okay.
Can we just talk about Daredevil really quickly? Because Netflix, brilliant, absolutely great. They are an amazing site. Well, everything, amazing organisation. Because they're doing this great thing. They're revolutionising TV. And what Daredevil have done, Marvel's Daredevil, they have done the whole lot and just popped them all on Netflix at the same time. So you can just sit in your room, scratching yourself, and just binge watch the entire thing while eating cheese and maybe drinking wine.
Cheese and wine.
A spot of cheese and wine. Yeah, so that's absolutely brilliant. I think that's the best way to do it. Because imagine if Netflix was around, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years ago now, say. And Firefly just came out and it got cancelled, and then they were just like, okay, we'll just bung the whole thing on Netflix straight away. They would have got a bajillion fans so much faster, and hell, it might have just been uncancelled straight away.
It wouldn't have been cancelled. They put them out in the wrong order. So if it just went on Netflix to start with,
yeah, then it'd have been good.
Go, oh yeah, that's episode 2.
Yeah, that's it. And it'd just be that simple, wouldn't it? Rather than Fox saying, we want a spicier one full of action. Silly. But Daredevil has been absolutely brilliant. Brutal, though. Talking of Gotham and its brutality earlier, Daredevil has been possibly more brutal. I've only watched the first 3 episodes, and I've got a few friends who have ploughed through all of it now. Big up your dedication, guys. That's impressive. And I'm very jealous because I kind of want to have watched it all because it's really, really good watching. Very dark, grisly, but they've really played on Frank Miller's vision of Daredevil and kind of stayed true to the original Daredevil as well, because there's a lot of the Catholicism, because he was always a heavy Catholic. There's a lot about his folks and the kind of mystery about his folks. His dad's this kind of this working class boxer, but with good, strong working morals and whatnot. And then he's got this mysterious mother that no one really mentions, or at least in the first three episodes I've seen. But yeah, the casting's brilliant, the action's brilliant. There is an amazing fight scene at the end of the second episode, which just needs to be watched. It is brutal. It's one man slugging it out while his multiple opponents, just keep on getting back up after getting knocked down, and he's literally taking a couple of seconds to have a breather against the wall before he senses another one come at him and takes another swing and uses kind of their momentum against them mostly. So he's just kind of staying in one place, just slowly getting battered, but battering these guys back. It's absolutely incredible. Possibly my favourite fight scene I've ever seen.
Just that image of what you've just said makes me think of Frank Miller straight away.
Yeah.
That's exactly how.
Yeah, it's just really noir and just like, oh yeah, one guy against the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although he's not a gangster. That was my gangster accent, just in case you didn't know.
He could be a cop who was on his last day before retirement because he had a bum ticker.
They've all got bum tickers. To be fair, I mean, you would retire a cop if you had a bum ticker. But like, if you've got heart problems, maybe the police force isn't the place for you.
Maybe we've read this wrong. Maybe their bum is ticking. Like,
yeah, you've got a bomb in your anus? That simply won't do. You're off the force. This is your last day before retirement.
I've solved all my cases in this one day because I've got a bomb in my butt.
Either that or he just lost his wallet while having a bit of a precarious wipe. I don't know why I said wallet. I meant watch. If he's got a ticking wallet, that would be good. That might have worked for that joke. Either way, I'll retract it for now. Sorry. Anyway, swiftly moving on. You're listening to Niche Radio, I think. Although since we've got a bit off topic, I'm having so much fun though. Everybody likes to have a nice time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my top off because Connor's had his top off for ages, and I'm getting kind of gross and sweaty. But he wants to tell you guys the lowdown. But if you guys want to tell us the lowdown, please get in touch on our Facebook, which is Niche Nights, or our Twitter @Niche Radio, or please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Niche Nights as well. Basically, just like all our stuff because we're trying to do cool stuff because we enjoy it, but we hope to find some like-minded people that also like doing nice stuff. And we'll chat to you about all kinds. But first, Connell is going to tell you something about a very, very special person.
Hey Owen, should we talk about a randomly selected actor of the week?
Alright.
Hey.
Hello. So we're going to talk about a randomly selected actor, as we do every week, and this week's is an actress. That's the actress theme. Cool. Actor, actress, whatever you want to go with, doesn't really matter. It's all the same kettle of fish.
It is. Person who pretends to be something they're not.
Yes. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Teryl Rothery, who she's played numerous characters. I'm currently obsessed with Caprica. I've always been, well, for a long time now, I've been a big fan of Battlestar Galactica. So in that universe, there's a whole universe of everything. There's the early series, there's the modern series, there's Caprica, which I'm watching, there's the original plan. There's also loads of films throughout the series, like Razor. Teryl Rothery, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. It's a strange name. Teryl Rothery.
That's a pretty interesting name.
It is. Anyway, she plays Evelyn in Caprica, who is Adama's dad's, I think, kind of lady who looks after the house, but then his wife dies, so has sex with him. Something like this. Anyway, she has a badass character, and when they go into V-World, she's the person who helps him out of it and gets him to stop looking for his daughter and goes back in to fight for the cause he's fighting for. Also, most like impressively, I love SG-1. Stargate SG-1 is some of the best Stargate SG-1 and Battlestar Galactica, two of my favourites. Maybe Doctor Who as well. Of course, she's Janet Fraser in that, and has one of the best death episodes, to spoiler it if you've not seen it, but of anything in any sci-fi. There's an episode where they go to a planet and they've got to they're trying to sell to the government why SG-1 should get the $2 trillion a year they ask for, which is ridiculous, of course. So make like a documentary about the world and what they go through, and they film a random henchman from another planet dying. It's very sad. You go through the whole episode and they're trying to fight for him and all this, and you find out at the very end he didn't die. He was saved by Janet, who that's what the whole episode was actually about, and it was actually her who died. It's phenomenal. Great episode. She plays, well, she's the Doctor in it. She's the Scully of SG-1, and is awesome. She's also in Dragon Ball Z. She's voice acting for Dragon Ball Z.
No way. Cool.
I don't know much about Arrow. Do you know much about Arrow?
Not very much. I did watch a lot of the first season, but then stopped.
Do you know Joan Loring?
Can't remember.
She's Joan Loring in Arrow.
Oh, good.
I need to watch Arrow. I know.
I've been hearing lots of good things, but yeah, we're not even caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., are we?
No, I think I'm.
And that's your favourite.
1 episode behind. I think.
I think you're one or two.
That's what we should do tonight.
Yeah. Agreed. I should also bathe though. Maybe we could do it at the same time.
We could
have a little double bath and like a double bubble bath.
Double bubble bath.
Yeah.
I like this.
I mean, wearing swimming trunks, of course, because I don't want you to see my junk.
Oh. Well, I will too then. She's also in Smallville.
No, you don't have to. It's fine.
Excellent.
Sorry, carry on.
Well, she's been in absolutely loads of voice acting background bits. Mainly, she was Janet Fraser, who I think is really pretty and really cool.
Sweet.
There.
All right, word up. Well, that was good. You know, I like that one because that was an actor that I knew very little about. And usually we do ones that we both know a bit about.
Like Ian McKellen.
Yes, last week was Ian McKellen. And yeah, but yeah, that was nice because I learned something. I've taken something away from that. I feel wholer as a person. Oh, this is the picture. Oh yeah, I recognise her. I must have seen the odd episode of it. Wow, can you just hold that up again for a second, please? Yeah, wow, that is a crazy name, isn't it? Teryl.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. I know someone called Meryl as well. I know there's Meryl Streep, isn't there? Oh no, sorry, Meriel. Meriel is what I'm thinking of. That's a nice name, Meriel.
I like Ariel. If I could fall into any world and make love to a beautiful mermaid, it would be Ariel.
Why?
Totally a childhood fantasy. I'm sure we've talked about this before.
Yeah, having a bit of the old Ariel. I thought it was weird. Right, okay, bear with me. I know we're running over time a little bit, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. Mermaids. Kind of sexy concepts, you know, they're off in the sea, and they're mysterious, and then sometimes they come and sing at you, and they've got, you know, they don't wear very much on their tops, which, you know, as a young teenager, that might have been quite alluring. Great ginger hair as well. Love gingers. Great. But what if you had a mermaid the other way around? So she had human legs, but then just got a gigantic fish head on top.
I'm sure there's something like that in some Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, there probably is. Still, worth thinking about. Is it horrible? I mean, is that scary or is that kind of hot? I just don't know.
It's kind of hot.
What if Wolverine's bones were made of chocolate?
What if Doctor Who used his powers for evil?
Oh, what if the Simpsons were all topless?
What if Bruce Banner never went to school?
What if... Shut up! Niche Radio tells you what if.
Shut up. Niche Radio tells you what if.
We sure do. We tell you all kinds of what if. Today, because we're feeling in a bit of a silly, whimsical mood, we're gonna pitch a what if at you. Although, please, if you guys out there have got a better what if, then just get onto our Facebook, Niche Nights, Twitter, Niche Radio, or YouTube, Niche Nights, and just comment, message us, whatever, and say, look, you guys are doing crap what ifs. I've got a better one. That'll be fine. That's all we need.
So, I don't know exactly what this week's what if is entitled, but it's pretty much, if you could...
What if you could shag any fictional fictional character that has to be a fictional
Like a
creature. Yeah. So it can't be a human, or it can't be anything too humanoid. So
and
you
I
go
think
for
X-Men shouldn't count either.
Oh yeah, no, mutants don't count. They're people too.
I agree.
But stuff like centaurs or nymphs or fairies.
Sirens.
Cylons would totally count. Yeah.
No, sirens.
Oh, sirens. Yeah, they count.
That's kind of their power anyway. They lure you in. Actually, do they have sex with you, or are you just lured in and then you never find out what
Oh no,
happens?
no, you're lured in and they turn into a massive gross monster and eat you.
Oh,
And drag you into the water.
There's
Yeah.
no sex.
No, they're hot for a bit, and then you're like, oh, wow, there's like at least 3 of them. Maybe I'll get some. And they've got really nice singing voices too.
So it's not like 3 Ariels on a rock
Sorry.
staring at me with their loving arms and
Sorry,
shell bikinis.
I hate to be the guy that dispels the Santa myth for you, but no.
Oh.
For any listeners out there that believe in Santa,
Spoiler alert. What about Ursula?
Ursula, yeah,
She was strangely attractive, I thought, when I was young.
yeah, but she'd ink everywhere.
That would be kind of cool, though. Do you not think? Inked.
I'll have to give that one some thought, to be honest. I mean, for me, in Buffy Vampire Slayer, there's a bit in the comics where Dawn gets turned into loads of weird stuff. She turns into a giant for a bit. That's not so hot because I mean, Dawn's okay looking in her older years, but as a giant, bit too big for me. I wouldn't want to have to climb her to be able to give her a peck on the cheek.
Yeah.
But then she turns into a centaur, and I could kind of get behind that. I wouldn't want to make love with a horse, but I'd like to let her give me kind of piggybacks around. That'd be cool. And then rather than awkwardly holding onto her hips like you were having like a backie on a motorbike, you could just hang onto her boobs, and then be riding on the back, clip clop, clip clop, and that would be a fun wind in your hair, whistling through the forest, and fondling boobs.
And she would obviously be, she's the Slayer's sister.
Yeah.
So you'd be sorted for life.
Yeah, well, as long as Buffy approves of the matching. Also, by the way, anybody who's listening, if anyone's offended by this topic of sex, then please complain. It would be really funny.
Yeah, it would.
So how about you? What other kind of creatures in fiction? I mean, it doesn't have to be comics or TV. It could be fiction anywhere.
I know. I'm kind of preoccupied now thinking about Ariel. Who else?
Yeah, I'm just kind of stuck. I must say, it's not something I've thought of very often. I'm quite glad we are thinking about it, though. It's quite a fun topic, that.
See, I'm not going for the centaur thing. I'm trying to think of Harry Potter creatures, but there's
Hagrid, all the way. I see. If I was into what's it called when you shag animals?
Bestiality.
Yeah, if I was into bestiality, Buckbeak. It's got a strong figure, but yeah,
That's not one I expected.
yeah, but I don't think I'll go in for it. But he's a beautiful creature, don't you think? The Thestrals as well. It's just the creature design on that. Maybe that's not a sexy thing though. I don't find them very sexy. I just think they're really cool looking.
Yes.
Well, go on. It's your turn anyway. What about the mermaids in Harry Potter? If you've got a thing for mermaids, they are
Actually,
mer
some of them
people.
were kind of hot. I have got a thing for mermaids, it seems.
But they've got those weird fangy mouths. I mean, oral sex would be out of the question.
Have you ever seen the cosplayer who dresses as Ariel?
Nope.
She's really good and looks just like her. I don't know how she isn't employed by Disney. Like, she physically looks spot on.
Have you done a bit of research into this, Connell?
Not just a bit. I
Really? Do you? So, well, okay.
Thanks for letting me use your computer, by the way.
But who else? I mean, Sebastian the Crab, of course. Who wouldn't want to lay him? And Lumiere, talking of Disney characters, Lumiere also, he was the utmost gentleman with that kind of bit of French panache. But I think it'd be difficult to actually have sex with him because he is a candlestick. I mean, I can think of ways, but they're not radio appropriate.
I don't think much of this is, though, to be fair.
Well, yeah, that's true. But okay, we're thinking creatures though. I'm thinking characters in Disney, and they're just transformed by magic, so that's different.
I think I'm a little lost on this and focus on mermaids.
Yeah, you do seem to be. What about harpies? They're like the mermaids of the sky. Harpies, they're just kind of like sexy but maybe scary looking female creatures. They fly about in the sky. They got big wings, a bit like Morrigan from that classic beat 'em up that I can't remember the name of now. Beat 'em ups as well.
Yeah. What's the name from Mortal Kombat?
What was that noise again? That noise is to represent large bosoms. Anyone who can't see on the webcam Connell's actions there. That was brilliant. Can I just have that noise one more time? Yeah, to be fair, they sound big.
They are.
Yeah, even ignoring your actions. But who are you talking about? Is it Jade?
Oh, what's the...
It's got to be a creature, because she's just a person, I think.
Oh, what's his name?
Is it the one with the weird fangy mouth that wears pink?
What's the name of the lion that the Lion King marries?
Oh, Nala?
Yeah, she's alright.
Yeah, she's pretty fit. Oh, dear. Yeah. Well, this has been a pretty wholesome what if. I've learned a lot about myself. Yeah, so we've got to wrap it up now, I'm afraid. But if you want more talking about who we'd shag, we should do a whole separate show about this, I think. Do you reckon? Just a spin-off show. It would be like that bit in Big Train where there's that guy played by the chap who played Brian Toppin, Spaced.
That's in Brassey.
Oh, is it? Is it? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, deciding whether or not he would lay certain people from photos. Okay, just before we go, who'd win in a fight between Santa and the devil? You decide right now.
Nick Frost, I think, just decided this because he's manipulative and brilliant, jolly, but determined.
Okay. All right, so that's what happens there. Just before we put on some bad news, how about a little bit of good news?
Owen bought a pull-up bar, which means I've been doing pull-ups all day long.
Way.
As well as eating a roast. I cooked myself a roast. I watched Sliders. Then I watched some West Wing, and it was good. Then I looked into Teryl Rothery and got confused by her name.
Jolly good. I've had a lovely day, and now I'm the proud owner of some kazoos. That's my good news. And without
Turn up the Mac. Here we go.
without further ado, here's some news.